Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम
ओम
नमो
नमो
भगवते
भगवते वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम
ओम
नमो
नमो
भगवते
भगवते वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय।
Narayanam Namaskrityam.
संस्कृतम्
Naran Chaiva Narottamam.
नरं
नरं
चैव
चैव
नरोत्तमं
नरोत्तमं
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
देवीं
देवीं
सरस्वतीं
सरस्वतीं
व्यासं
व्यासं
Tado Jayamudire.
ततो
ततो जयमुदीरये।
जयमुदीरयेत्।
Nashtaprayasu Bhadresu.
नष्टप्रायेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु
अभद्रेषु
भद्रेषु
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
नित्यं भागवत सेवया।
Bhagavati Uttama Sloke.
भगवती उत्तम श्लोके
लोके
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
भक्तिर्भवति
भक्तिर्भवति
नैष्ठिकी।
नैष्ठिकी।
Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, titled The Perfection of Renunciation, and verse number 7. Niyatasya tu sannyasa
नियतस्य तु संन्यास
संन्यासः
karmano napapadayate
कर्मणो न उपपद्यते।
नोपपद्यते।
mohatasya parityagas
महात्तस्य
मोहतस्य
परित्यागः
परित्यागः
tamasa parikirtita.
तामसः
तामसः
परिकीर्तितः।
परिकीर्तितः।
Niyatasya tu sannyasa
नियतस्य
नियतस्य
तु
तु
संन्यासः
संन्यास
कर्मणो napapadayate
कर्मणो
कर्मणो न
नोपपद्यते।
उपपद्यते।
mohatasya parityagas
महात्तस्य
मोहतस्य
परित्यागः
परित्याग
tamasa parikirtita.
तामस
तामसः परिकीर्तितः।
परिकीर्तितः।
Niyatasya tu sannyasa
नियतस्य तु
नियतस्य तु
संन्यास
संन्यासः
कर्मणो nupadayate
कर्मणो
कर्मणो न
नोपपद्यते।
उपपद्यते।
mohatasya parityagas
महात्तस्य
मोहतस्य
परित्यागः
परित्याग
tamasa parikirtita.
तामस
तामसः परिकीर्तितः।
परिकीर्तितः।
Prabhuji, anybody want to lead?
नियतस्य तु संन्यास
Niyatasya
तस्य
tu
तु
sannyasa
संन्यासः
कर्मणो नोपपद्यते।
कर्मणो
कर्मणो
नोपपद्यते।
nupadyate.
मोहातस्य परित्याग
महात्तस्य
मोहतस्य
परित्यागः
परित्याग
तामस परिकीर्तितः।
तामसः
तामस परिकीर्तितः.
परिकीर्तितः। नियतस्य तु संन्यासः
नियतस्य तु
नियतस्य तु
संन्यास
संन्यासः
कर्मणो नोपपद्यते।
कर्मणो न उपपद्यते।
कर्मण्यनुपदात्यते.
महात्तस्य परित्यागः
मोहतस्य
मोहतस्य
परित्यागः
परित्यागः
तामसः परिकीर्तितः।
तामस परिकीर्तितः।
परिकीर्तितः. Thank you very much. Word by word meaning. Niyatasya prescribed.
नियतस्य
नियतस्य
prescribed
prescribed
To but.
to
to
but
but
Sannyasa renunciation.
sannyasa
sannyas
renunciation.
renunciation
Karmana of activities.
Karmana of
कर्मणः of
activities.
activities
Na never.
No,
न
never.
never
Upadayate
उपपद्यते
is deserved.
is deserved.
Mohat by illusion.
Mohat by
मोहत
illusion.
by illusion.
Tasya of them.
Tasya of
तस्य
them.
of them.
Parityaga renunciation.
Parityaga
परित्याग
renunciation.
renunciation.
Tamasa in the mode of good,
तामसः
in the mode of ignorance.
In the mode of
in the
ignorance.
mode of ignorance.
Parikirtita
परिकीर्तितः
Parikirtitaha
is declared.
is
is
declared.
declared.
Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada.
की जय.
Prescribed duties
Prescribed
Prescribed
duties
duties
should never be renounced.
should never
should
be renounced.
never be renounced.
If one gives up
If
one
one
gives up
gives up
his prescribed duties
his
his
prescribed
prescribed duties
duties
because of illusion,
because of
because of
illusion,
illusion,
such renunciation is
Such renunciation is
said to be in the mode of ignorance.
said to be in the mode of ignorance.
Anyone would like to read the purport by His Divine Grace?
The work for material satisfaction must be given up, but activities which promote one to spiritual activity, like cooking for the Supreme Lord and offering the food to the Lord and then accepting the food, are recommended. It is said that a person in the renounced order of life should not cook for himself. Cooking for oneself is prohibited, but cooking for the Supreme Lord is not prohibited. Similarly, a sannyasi may perform a marriage ceremony to help his disciple in the advancement of Krishna consciousness. If one renounces such activities, it is to be understood that he is acting in the mode of darkness.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Let's all chant together the invocation mantra. Akyana timirandasya
Gandhasalakaya Chakshurunmitam ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha
Sri
Sri
Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Manobishtam
Manobishtam
Tapitam Yena
Apitamaena
Bhutale
Bhutale
Swayam
Swayamarupa
Rupa
Kadamahyam
Kadami
Dadati
Swapadantikam
Swapadantikam
Vandeham Shri
Vande
Guru Shri Yutamadakammalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri
Sri
Rupam
Rupam
Sagrajatam
Sagrajatam
Sagana Raghunatha Tam
Sagarnathan
Sajivam
Sajivam
Sadvindam
Savadutam
Parijana
Parijansaitam Krishna
Krishna
Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Devam
Devam Sri
Sri
Radha
Radha
Krishna
Krishna Padan Sagan Lalita
Padam
Sri
Sri
Vishakha Nitan
Vishakha He
He
Krishna
Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina
Dina
Bandho Jagatpate
Jagatpate
Gopesha Gopika Kanta
Radha
Radha Kanta Namostute
Namastute Tapta
Tapta
Kanchana
Kanchan
Gaurangi
Gaurangi
Radhe
Radhe
Vrindavaneshwari
Vrindavaneshwari
Shabanu
Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari
Hari
Priye Vancha Kalpa
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha
Tarubhyacha Kripa
Kripa
Sindhubhe
Sindhubhayavacha
Evacha
Patitanam
Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo Namo
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 Namah
Jai Shri
Jai Sri
Krishna
Krishna
Chaitanya
Chaitanya Prabhu
Prabhu Nityananda
Nityananda
Shri
Sri
Advaita
Advaita
Gadadhar
Gadadhara
Shivash Adi
Srivasadi
Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Gaura
Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Nilachara Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadravya Jagannatha Namo. So thank you so much for joining this wonderful Sangha every Saturday evening. We had little break because of certain um, urgencies some of us had, and we are resuming where we left off. Last time we discussed 18.6, and today we're discussing 18.7. Here, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Purna Purushottam Krishna, is speaking about the renunciation in the mode of ignorance. So, and the next verse, Bhagavan is going to talk about renunciation in the mode of passion. And in the next verse, systematically, Lord is going to explain about renunciation in the mode of goodness. So, renunciation, as you know, is a very complicated topic. Sometimes people renunciate prematurely. We heard about it, we saw the consequences. So, here, Lord is saying, Niyatasya, there are some prescribed duties, there is some Nitya Karma we all have to do. And even if a person is trying to renunciate, is trying to give up, he is giving up to get out of illusion. But he is not giving up with illusion. So what is giving up with illusion? So Lord is saying there are some prescribed duties when it is renunciated. But if it is done with illusory mindset, moha, and if it is done when it is done parityagya, when it is being given up with the mode of illusion, then that is not correct. That will only take us to darkness. So we have to give up to get out of illusion. We're supposed to give up our craving for something, liking for something, trying to multiply our material uh, prospects. Whenever we are trying to do that, when you are trying to give up our craving for certain things, moho on certain things, then that is true renunciation. However, if you're giving up something by frustration, for example, when a person is frustrated, he gives up certain things. But once the frustration leaves us, then the person's renunciation abilities changes. He doesn't give up. So, so that method of renunciation in this example was renunciation with illusion. Our renunciation should not be done with illusion. Our renunciation should be done after which we get out of illusion. So there is a difference. So that subtle difference is something Lord is explaining so beautifully here. Niyatasya. There are some day-to-day habits. There are day-to-day activities. So what are the 30 day-to-day activities with which we should foster our life? Narad Muni is recommending, we discussed about this, go on the path of truthfulness. Go with daya, go with tapa, go with cleanliness, bathing twice a day, tolerance, discrimination between right and wrong, sama, control of the mind, control of the senses, dhamma, non-violence, ahimsa, celibacy, brahmacharya, tyaga, charity, reading of scripture, simplicity, satisfaction, rendering service to saintly persons, gradually taking leave of unnecessary engagements, observing the futility of unnecessary things, talking about activities of human society, following Maunam, as we discussed in Upadeshamrita very recently, uh, the first verse, uh, to Vacho Vegam, considering that we are not the body, we are the soul, then distributing food equally among living entities, seeing every soul equally, hearing about the activities and instructions given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, chanting should not be given up. If you are doing renunciation of chanting, then that is in the mode of illusion. Seva, trying to do and giving service, performing worship, offering obeisances, becoming a servant, becoming a friend, surrendering one's soul. So these are the 30 qualities. These are the activities. These are basically day-to-day life. Without that, we can't really live. We should follow this every step of the way. This is like your nitya karma. Think about your brushing of the teeth, or cleansing your body every day after taking bath, and the 30 qualities Narad Muni explaining to Yudhishthir Maharaj in this beautiful conversation in Srimad Bhagavatam 7.11.8 to 12. This 5 verses explains all these 30 qualities. These are things which should never be given up. If you are giving these up, then that is, Lord is saying, it's done with illusion. So don't give up because of illusion. Give up to come out of illusion. So that's the real message in this verse. Our acharyas have said. So, and Krishna is saying so beautifully that if you give something, give your prescribed duties, that is because of your illusion, because you are frustrated. Sometimes people are frustrated about certain things in their life. Once they're frustrated, they give it up. And once the frustration leaves, they are frustrated because they couldn't secure good marks. They're frustrated. And because they don't secure good marks, they give up eating once a day. So they mean, so indirectly, they do ekadasi in the sense they maintain ekadasi because they are frustrated because they have not got good marks in their exams, or they want something which didn't happen and they're frustrated, and because of that they gave it up. But once, and that method of giving up is actually in the mode of ignorance. So most of the time people go to temple during exams, or if they have to get something, so they do it. And sometimes they're frustrated and they give it up. They stand in one leg. Sometimes they don't eat the whole day. It's all done with an intent because they're frustrated. And that ability to give up is because they are in darkness because of illusion. They never come out of illusion. But if a person having everything can give it up, then he comes out of illusion. That's actually is the message in this verse as to how to renunciate. What are the, so when a person renunciates under the mode of ignorance, he never comes out of ignorance. He stays with ignorance. And that is the reason why Krishna is systematically going. Next time we're discussing what is renunciation and passion. We'll give an example as to when a person is passionate enough, he renunciates something. And then when the passion leaves, when the activities are complete, he is back to square one. So that's the reason why we should think about how to give up when you have it. So when you have something and you have the ability to give it up, that is the topmost thing. You have the ability to get money after going to work. Instead of enjoying the money, if you give it up for certain causes, and we talked about where you should donate and whatnot, we don't want to go there. But if you have the ability to give it up after getting it, that is the highest form of giving it up, because you had it, but you are not attached to it. You got the result of, or the fruits of your work. But when you have the ability to give it up, that's the topmost renunciation. We heard about Janak Maharaj, the example, when his palace caught fire, he was constantly focused on his guru's message. He didn't leave his seat. He didn't leave his seat because he knows these material things like palace can be rebuilt. One palace is not permanent and it could be rebuilt. So Janak Maharaj epitomized it. So likewise, when you talk about the Mahajans, the 12 Mahajans, Brahmaji, Narad Muni, Shiva, Kumaras, the four Kumaras, Lord Kapiladev, Swayambhu Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, Janak Maharaj, we gave an example of Janak Maharaj, uh, Vishmadev, Bali Maharaj, Sukadev Goswami, Yamaraj. These are Mahajans. If you look at their lives, you realize that they have given up with the message. When Bali Maharaj was asked to give 3 steps by Vamanadev, at the same time, Sukracharya, his guru, is saying, don't follow. And Bali Maharaj had everything. He was one of the he is one of the more charitable kings who is recognized in the whole world. He had everything, but still he knew that he is going to be decimated. He is going to go to a different planet. He is going to leave everything. His family is going to be gone. But still, he had the guts and renunciation to give Vamanadeva the third step, and because of which he went to a different lower planet. And what did Lord do to reciprocate? He became the gatekeeper of Bali Maharaj's lower planetary system, where he was sent, so that Lord is so kind that he takes care of his devotees. So don't give up because of illusion, give up to come out of illusion. So these are subtle things, but once you catch it right, you will understand the message the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan, is explaining so beautifully. And 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 that mentality, and we spoke about the chanting of the holy name. Chanting of the holy name is like our nitya karma, and that is why Lord is starting with the word niyatasya, which are prescribed. Which are prescribed, it should never be given up. And once we, even if you are a sannyasi, you should still do your niyatasya, your prescribed duties. You have prescribed duties for everyone. So that's why Prabhupada is saying, when a person is a sannyasi, he's supposed to live with alms, from going begging and leading a life of a renunciate. But on the contrary, if Srila Prabhupada was a sannyasi in New York City, he was actually cooking for the devotees of the Lord. In New York City, when he started the mission, he had no one to help. So he was cooking actually, and he was cooking gradually that those evening Bhagavad Gita sessions Srila Prabhupada used to have, there used to be all kind of people who used to come. And some of them did not cook Srila Prabhupada well. In spite of all the difficulty, he cooked for the Supreme Lord's devotee, because he saw everyone as the devotee of the Supreme Lord. And then gradually those devotees who were hippies eventually become happies. They took Bhagavad Gita seriously. And some of them today, you can see their life has been transformed. So here, Srila Prabhupada is writing in the purport that a person in the renounced sort of life is a sannyasi should not cook for himself, but cooking for oneself is prohibited, but cooking for the Supreme Lord is not prohibited. So that means you're serving. So whenever there is an element of serve, that itself is part of renunciation. Many times you'll see people will renunciate, they will give up, but they have not understood the essence of renunciation as described by Bhagavad Gita. So Purna Purushottam Krishna, Bhagavan, is explaining so beautifully that don't give up because of illusion, give up to come out of illusion. And if you internalize that message, in every step of the way, we end up doing something. We uh, want to give up, but we have some motive behind giving up, some personal motive behind giving up. That is a illusory method of renunciation. That tyaga is illusory, and Krishna is using the word parityaga. If you're trying to do parityaga with some motivation, that motivation may be for passion, maybe for ignorance, because of your lack of knowledge. So don't give up because of illusion. Give up to come out of illusion, so that the illusion we want to really fight is we have more money. Once we have more money, we get attracted to it. We have craving for some food. We have liking. We have craving for some association, and that really entangles us more and more, and we become more illusory day by day. The intent of giving up is to come out of that, not to give up with the intent that this didn't happen, so I give up illusion. So hope we have understood the message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead with the right way, because these are all subtle things, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the brightest individual who is explaining to Krishna gradually, one after other, one after other, one after other, how to renunciate, so that eventually, when we become detached, we have done the homework right in detaching for the right cause. So we can go on and on, but would like to end here. I would like to hear some comments, corrections, and reflections from you. We had a break because of um, some absences. So thank you for joining today. And we're going to have a more involved session in 18.8 next time, where Lord is explaining how to do renunciation, but and what form of that renunciation is. If it is renunciation with passion, we'll give example and we'll understand. So that all these concepts, if we understand it correctly, it will go a long way in giving up things. We just don't give up for the sake of giving up, but we understand where the Supreme Personality of God is coming from. So with that, I'd like to end here. Any question, comments, please ask. Thank you so much for your attention. Anything, Prabhuji, Prabhuji's?
Thank Prabhuji. Thanks. No comment. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. It's good to hear from you after a long time. So tomorrow, are you coming to the temple? I'll be bringing some Jagannath Puri Mahaprasad in the community hall at 7:30. I mean, if you are coming, you can have a little bit of prasadam in the temple.
Sure, Prabhuji. Will come, definitely. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Niranjan Prabhu, you have any thoughts, comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah,
Hare Krishna.
nice class, Prabhuji. I mean, very good examples. So actually, we were missing last 2 to 3 weeks uh, due to some urgency that we have to go to Odisha. But we will try to continue from next weekend onwards.
Definitely, Prabhu. So, in our pursuit of understanding Bhagavad Gita, if Srila Prabhupada has said Bhagavad Gita uh, has to be studied, because sometimes what happens is Krishna gives the subtle message, and in order to get a subtle message, we have to uh, listen to our acharyas, hear some example, because it's a science. It has to. There is only one right way of doing things in science, because science is not some flowery language that you can say, and then so it has to be caught right. I mean, Krishna's message is very focused, very fundamental, and if we understand it right, so definitely, as we discuss more among group of devotees or hear from group of devotees, we are going to learn, and these messages are very sublime messages, and there is a very little thing Krishna has said in this verse which may not be very popular, but there is a big impetus on this verse. So we'll do more studying, more smaranam, more remembering, more contemplation of these verses, so that we do what Krishna has asked us to do, rather than based on our limited understanding, we understand his message and end up doing something which is not desired. Okay, bro?
Yes, Prabhuji. Association, is very important. I mean, after this Saturday class, right? We are kind of getting charged on Monday. I mean, Sunday going to temple, and Saturday this class, Bhagavad Gita class, which helps to charge on Monday actually, Friday again, to make it fully charged. Okay, yeah.
Right, bro. Okay, bro. So see you tomorrow evening, and thank you. Let's all pay.
Prabhuji,
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
yeah. So can you also bring Prabhuji like medicine tomorrow? I
Yeah,
will
I will.
collect it from here.
I'll get it.
Yeah. So what time? Like I will be there by 6:45, 7.
7:30. I'll be there in the community hall.
Okay, sure, Prabhuji. I will take it.
Okay. So let's pay obeisances in the lotus feet of all Vaishnavas by saying Vancha
Kalpatarubhyascha
Kalpataru
Patidhanam
Patidhanam
Vaishnavebhyo
Namo
Namo
Namo.
Namo.
Hare
Vaishnava
Krishna.
Bhagavad Gita
Jai.
Gaur Premanande. Hari
Hari
Hari.
Hari Bol.
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.